Hey, everybody! Welcome to Nerds with Alcohol. I'm Chris,
I'm Russ.
and this is episode. I just realized that I just had you in the wrong spot. This is episode 206.
206, back in the Nerd Basement, in the virtual Nerd Basement, guys. Welcome once again. Glad to be back and have you all here. And it has been a hell of a week. A hell
Yeah,
of a week already.
it is.
Yeah.
I had to figure out where my thing was. I'm actually in class this week. I'm in training this week. So I'm sitting at this computer and we're using Zoom, which is what we use here
hmm
for our show. And I'm like, why are you coming through the mic? Or through the speakers. That's not right. And so I had to figure that out. So now you're coming through my headphones. And so people won't hear an echo, I hope,
Right.
anymore. So,
All
but
right.
yeah, 206. Um, wow,
Hey,
what a
CD.
fucking
Nice
week.
to see you.
Yeah, hey, CD. What a fucking week.
What a week. Damn. We've had some really big nerd news drop. We've had some pretty crazy things happen in the last 7 days or so. But on top of it, probably the most important thing is that yesterday the Electoral College met and put out their votes and elected Joe Biden as the
40,
confirmed
confirmed Joe Biden as the 46th president of the United States.
46th president. Yeah, which
Which California is the one that got to put him over. And
yeah.
when they cast their votes, they all like cheered.
Yeah.
And
That was already, like Texas had 38 electoral votes. Did you know that? Or 36,
I know
38,
they got a
like that.
lot.
And a lot. And Trump did take Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So he did get their electoral votes, but it's just kind of like, that's a lot. It seems like a lot, you know?
Well, California gets like 55.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, it is, slated by according to population.
Yep.
So, but uh, I tell you, when the election happened, initially the election happened and it was evident that Biden had won, it was a huge weight off my shoulders. But then because, it felt, I'm like, oh, thank God, the nightmare that we've been living for 4 years is almost over. But then I almost got even more stressed watching all the reaction to it. All of the Trump supporters that were
Well,
basically all just like
and
losing their minds. Donald Trump
it's
and
still
his
going
legal
on.
team. Yeah, and it's still going on. Donald Trump and his legal team and everybody just like, oh, we're gonna fight this, we're gonna fight this, we're gonna fight this. And now Donald Trump was within his rights to demand recounts and do
Yes.
certain things. Yes,
He should have.
absolutely.
There should have been a recount in Georgia, which there was.
There's been
There should have been a
three.
recount. Yeah, there should have been a recount in Pennsylvania, which there was.
Right.
I mean, the recounts are within his rights. The court cases are within his rights, although
Mm-hmm.
some of them were pretty fucking frivolous. But all of that's within his rights.
But you know what? Now it's time to let it go.
Yep. He still
Because
has not conceded, though.
yeah, he still has not conceded. And I saw a post saying we're finally seeing a man who has never been told no. Finally see him being told no and him reacting to this. Like
He's a petulant child.
He lived this extravagant, glamorous lifestyle all of his life that he basically never had to. Nobody ever told him no, and now they're finally like, "Sorry, man, you lost. You can't. It's over."
Yeah, it's over. You're done.
And he can't handle it. So it is definitely. But like I said, I feel even more so that we're finally through the worst of it, and
Well,
I think we
the
can
thing
finally
is that there's a
relax a little
group
bit.
of Republican congressmen that I heard that want to throw out the Electoral College votes
Yeah,
and take it to Congress.
yeah, and that's that. From what I heard, that would be Donald Trump's final last ditch effort, and is
Well,
have
and
them.
that's the one place he has a shot because the Senate, depending on how Georgia goes with their
Mhm.
runoff,
Yeah,
um, that could go the Republicans' way,
and that would be a coup. That
it
would
would.
it would be tantamount to a coup. And there have been some people that have been crying out, like saying that all of the senators, all the Republican senators that supported his last like ditch kind of thing, Supreme Court bid through Texas, um, was like the people are saying that they should be ousted,
Yeah.
because they were trying to foment revolution, and
Yep.
they were supporting a coup, and that's illegal. That's committing a crime.
Yeah,
So
that's what's really killing me about this, even more so than when Trump got elected 4 years ago. Yes, there were a lot of Democrats that were not my president and all that, and all the Republicans at the time were well, a bunch of the Republicans at the time were screaming, oh, you bunch of fucking snowflakes, you libtards, all this thing about, well, he is your president, blah blah blah, and now they're the ones that are doing the exact same thing.
Yeah,
I actually saw one of my old high school friends, who's more of an acquaintance now. I really haven't talked to him much in a long time. He's a big time right winger. He had a picture of Kid Rock flipping people off and saying, "Not my fucking president." Is there anything you don't understand about that, or something like that? And I'm like, you know what? This is why our country is so fucking divided. I can't believe how divided this country is along political lines now.
Yeah. It's never in my lifetime have we seen it worse. I mean,
no.
It wasn't even this bad when Obama got elected. When Obama got elected, it was rough, but it was it still wasn't near this bad, because there were a lot of people out there that were just straight up racist when it came to Obama, like that they just didn't support a black president or whatever, Of course, they weren't going to fully admit that, but that was one of the reasons, this situation has been, but I think it's way worse. It's even worse. But I do have confidence, though, that cooler heads will prevail. And
I'll tell you what we need to do is make sure that all these fucking little loopholes get closed up, so that we can't have a coup in the future.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's one of the dangerous things that people are saying is that that this is everything that Donald Trump is doing more damage because it's causing people to have faith in our system, and that this is going to be more damaging, even more damaging, because now people don't have faith in the electoral system.
Yep.
And
I think Renee's home.
I guess so. But yeah, the hypocrisy of particularly the Republican Party. I've seen it on the Democrat side too a little bit, but more so the Republicans, that they're just like, they are acting even worse than any of the Democrats did when Trump was elected. It's almost amazing about how much more of crybabies that they have been.
Oh yeah.
Or, and I mean, I say crybaby and for lack of a better term about it, really, but they're just fighting it and fighting it and fighting it, and it's like, look, the fight is over. The Electoral College has met, and they have sent their votes. They have got, it has been certified by law, according to law, and everything. There was no evidence, and it's been, I mean, over and over again, there has been no evidence of tampering. There has been no evidence of voter fraud. There has been, and that's the thing. Every time that Donald Trump tried to bring something to the court, they were like, you have no evidence. And he would say, oh, we have thousands of affidavits. No, they didn't.
Well, it's like he had millions of people show up for his inauguration. So
yeah. Exactly. I'd like to know where they found the time to collect thousands of affidavits of people that were like, yeah, I saw all this voter fraud.
Well, man. He won one case. Yeah. One case he won, and that was a matter of how close the observers could stand.
Yeah, I think there was something about, like, there was some kind of count. One of the very smaller recounts that they did that still didn't benefit him enough to the point where it was a matter of.
Well, there was one, the recount, like
1,000 or 2,000.
He spent a lot of money for the recount in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
To give Biden a bigger lead.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, pretty much none of the recounts have benefited him at all. So it's just I don't know. I think some of it. There's a lot of people like that have said that was just it's all an act for him to continue to garner favor with his supporters. If he had capitulated early, then all of his supporters would have called him, weak or whatever else, and
Well, that's what he thinks, at least.
yeah, exactly. And then they're saying that there's also talk that if Donald Trump decides not to run in 24, that maybe his son, he's going to put his son up to run.
Oh, please no. Please fucking no.
Yeah. So that'll be almost worse than what we're dealing with now. So anyway, it's just we tried. You and I, we tried at the very beginning.
Dumber, yes.
Yeah. At the very beginning of this podcast, CD, you weren't around at the very beginning, and some of our other listeners or whatever. But at the very beginning of this podcast, it was right after the election when we started.
Well, just before.
And Donald Trump was elected, and we even said, you and I sat at the table and was like, well, who knows? Maybe he'll do a good job. Maybe he'll be all right. He is now the duly elected president of the United States, even though we didn't vote for him, but he is the elected president of the United States. So, let's come together. Let's try and support the president. Let's do what we can. Maybe he'll do a great job. We don't know. The following week, his first week, after he had been elected, we recanted because he had said so many fucked up, stupid things that we all just were like, what? I mean, we tried.
We tried. We gave him the benefit of the doubt, but after
a week, then we couldn't,
Well, that was the thing. He did so much in a week that we couldn't support him after that.
Right. So yeah, we've been pretty vocal about not being supportive of Donald Trump, but at the same time, we were not one of those people that were like wah wah wah, cry. We didn't like deny that he won, because he did. He won the fucking election.
Yep. And you know what? Biden's going to be the president, and if he does dumb shit, we'll talk about it on the show too.
Exactly. And a lot of people have said, that just because Biden has won the election doesn't mean that we have won, quote unquote. There's still a lot of work to do. There's still a lot of damage that needs to be undone, thanks to Donald Trump's machinations and whatnot. There's a lot of things that
Donald Trump
need to be fixed.
has divided this country like no one since the Civil War.
Yeah. I mean, that's why people are saying that are afraid that certain states are going to secede. They're afraid that.
Well, and that's the thing. Texas has talked about that. And I've actually had people that I know that have been like, oh, if they do that, I'm moving there.
Yeah.
I'm like,
really good.
You know what? You go ahead. What
are they going to do? They're going to try and be the sovereign state of Texas?
Yeah.
They don't have the industry. They don't have any of the resources that they would need to be a sovereign.
A bunch of the Texas lawmakers that have said that they're going to look at secession. If all this goes through and Biden becomes president. I'm like,
you know what?
That is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
This has been our process for 250 fucking years.
Yeah. Yep. It's just it's unbelievable that a bunch of these people that are grown adults that are like, our president didn't win, and so I'm gonna leave. Really?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, how many times has this happened? That somebody has lost the election.
Now, I will tell you this. Renee and I were seriously talking when Trump was talking about the whole what he was going to do and the way that it looked that there was the possibility of him creating this coup. That if the coup went through, we were seriously looking at being like, "See ya, we're done. We're off to Ireland. Fuck you all."
Yeah.
Good luck.
There would be a good chance of what I would probably think about doing something as well, getting out, leaving.
I'm like, at least over the across the river.
Yeah, the thing is, Canada wouldn't want to take us. I mean, it's like they'd be flooded with literally refugees from the United States.
Well, Canada would
How
be happy
fucked
to
up
take
would
us
be that?
because there'd be a lot of intelligent people that would be leaving the United States to go to Canada.
Maybe so, but it's like there'd be millions of them then. It's that's I mean, there would literally, like I said, there literally would be refugees
Yeah,
from the
exactly.
United States. I mean,
Yep.
how messed up is that statement? So, somebody had said, I did see somebody else that said something to the effect of, please let's not piss off Texas. We don't want to go to war with Texas. That is probably also true as well. So anyway, guys, we're seeing, we're seeing lots and lots of crazy things coming out of the news, and like I have a news break app on my phone that's always telling me all kinds of stuff, and
I got Google News, which I've got trained now to give me mostly nerd news, but
there you go. But
and I just set my phone off I said Google and it
Canada will be warm soon enough. Yeah, that's true, CD. Thanks for that. But it's like we just need to keep our heads. We need to remember that this is gonna pass, and that people, thankfully and hopefully, cooler heads will prevail, and Donald Trump will be that barking dog at the end of the street that people just can't get to shut up.
Eventually he's going to fade away.
Well, people have also said that there's a possibility of him becoming this quote unquote shadow president, and that he will continue to influence the Republicans.
And that's what I've heard is that like it or not, he's actually the voice of the Republican Party now. And
which is mind-boggling.
It is. And the thing that gets me is it's because I don't know what kind of shit he has over all of the Republicans, but I mean, there's only been like 2 senators that have come out and basically said it's time to fucking stop. And
no, actually, I think there's been more Republicans than you think. I think something like 25 Republicans did actually.
Several from the House have said something, but only 2 Republican senators that I've heard of, including Mitt Romney being one of them, who has been one of the most vocal, saying it's time to stop.
Yeah. I would say I think it's been, I don't know. I mean, I just seem to have said that seen that there's more than, like, there's been a not a huge number, but not higher number than that, of Republicans in both the House and the Senate that have finally thrown their support behind for Joe Biden as the president, and Mitt Romney being one of them, finally being like, guys, we gotta move on now. At this point, this is getting ridiculous. So,
well, there's been video of like after the election and after everything went through, there was video of several senators who have been outspoken against the whole Biden thing, walking by Kamala Harris on the Senate floor while she's talking to someone else. Like Lindsey Graham's one of them, walking by and saying something to her and then giving her a fist bump.
All right. Well, good. I mean, that's pretty awesome. I mean, we need to freaking do that, because they need to do that. They need to. This is the only way we're gonna finally just fix this stuff. I'm just tired of it, man. I'm just tired of the absolute, like, just mess of all of it. I'm tired of all of these, of the stress that it's creating and the anxiety it's creating. And I look forward to January 20th now at this point.
I do too.
To see him inaugurated. And I mean, I saw something about how Donald Trump, he was talking to some reporter, and the reporter basically asked him, he was like, so are you going to be at the inauguration? So I don't want to talk about that right now. He's just...
Well, CD just mentioned Mitch did today, and I just looked it up. Yeah, Mitch McConnell is now warning GOP officials to lay off the Electoral College results.
Well, good.
to not fight them like Trump is, because he thinks that I guess they're worried that it's going to hurt them in the Georgia runoff elections. Because
Well,
if
you
they
know,
lose those 2 seats in Georgia, they lose the Senate.
hmm, they lose the Senate majority. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
because it would be a 50-50 tie, and that gives Kamala Harris the deciding vote.
deciding vote. Right. That's right. Um, the it's just yeah. It's done. It's time. It's time, guys. It's time. And I guess I saw an article from Time today that President-elect Joe Biden tells Republicans that he's done with their games. I think he was finally waiting for the Electoral College to vote before it, because he's been notoriously like kind of soft with the Republicans trying to and sympathetic with them,
Mm-hmm.
not soft but sympathetic, and trying to like, look, I get it, your guy, the guy you backed didn't win, and that sucks, but it's time. And says dropping much of the "let's all come together" comedy from recent weeks, President-elect Joe Biden showed just how out of patience he has become with his predecessor and his allies. Where Biden initially treated those who voted for Donald Trump with a gentle touch and offered empathy for their loss, he has now exhausted his ability to humor their fact-free views that Biden's victory was illegitimate. We saw something very few predicted, even thought possible: the biggest voter turnout in the history of the United States of America, a number so big that this election now ranks as the clearest demonstration of the true will of the American people, one of the most amazing demonstrations of civic duty we have ever seen in our country. It should be celebrated, not attacked, Biden said last night in Wilmington, Delaware, hours after the Electoral College made clear what has been apparent for weeks. More than 81 million of those votes were cast for me and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. That, too, is a record, Biden continued. More than any ticket has received in the history of America, it represents a winning margin of more than 7 million votes over the number of votes cast for my opponent. His Electoral College win matches Trump's in 2016, and back then, Trump called it a landslide. To put Biden's point another way, the 2020 campaign is over. The MAGA crowd needs to back off, and Trump needs to start packing. And that's the thing. Like the people in his campaign headquarters have packed up. They've
Mm-hmm.
sold off the TVs and monitors for extra cash. The chairs have been the phones have been disconnected. The chairs have been packed away. All this stuff. The seal, presidential seal, has been taken down off the wall. It's a ghost town. Donald Trump is the only one, short of a few of his legal team, that are still holding out hope at this point. And the crazy Trumpers that are still out there.
Yeah.
The fact that the people casting the Electoral College votes were feared for their lives because of threats that were made to them is absolutely horrific and ridiculous. The fact that governors like Gretchen Whitmer and whatnot that they discovered, kidnapping plans and stuff
Mm-hmm.
from domestic terrorists, because that's what they were.
Yes,
Domestic fucking terrorists.
Yep.
They weren't revolutionaries or anything. No, these people were friggin' terrorists because they were so tied into this person, and I've tried to look at their perspective, I mean, and to see, like, you look at history, and you see like people that have been, that have created a revolution against tyrannical leaders and stuff, but these were not tyrants. I mean, we're not. It's amazing. Like, if anything, Donald Trump, if we had seen, and that's the thing, we didn't see anybody like creating some sort of, trying to lead some sort of revolution against Donald Trump, who exhibited some of the like characteristics of a tyrant. He just didn't get the chance to exercise all of them. But we never saw people like, they never uncovered some sort of massive conspiracy to try and unseat Donald Trump. Even though probably, my God, there should have been,
Well, and then we've got, along with all this, Barr I guess it's now, he's officially resigned.
Attorney General Barr.
Yes. Resigned. Originally it was, they didn't know if he had resigned or was fired, because there was a lot of rumors that Trump was ready to fire him. And it's because he wasn't standing up for him. He wasn't keeping Trump in office. He wasn't changing laws to. I'm like, Trump has no clue how the fucking government actually works.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's something that you should have to do. I think you should have to pass a basic civics test.
Yeah.
Before you can run for president.
Yeah. Well, that's why so many politicians at least have law degrees, or they have, government degrees, things like that, because so they know how things work in government. And even after somebody gets elected, there's still at least like a learning curve. There's a time. There's a reason why like senators, beginning senators are called freshmen. Because their first term, they're considered a freshman because they're learning. They're going to spend that at least the first half of their first term, because most senators and House reps and stuff run for multiple terms. They're going to spend their first term just learning how things work, figuring things out.
Yep.
And that's why so many candidates come from other branches of government. Very rarely.
What was that Eddie Murphy movie where he got elected to Congress and that was
he got elected to Congress on name recognition alone.
Yes, and figured out and that's what it was all about, was him learning how the system really works.
And he was a con
Distinguished Gentleman. Yes, thank you.
Distinguished Gentleman. Thanks. Yeah.
It was actually a really good fucking movie.
Yeah, I was talking about it. It was actually one of his movies that didn't do extremely well. But it was, I thought it was a really smart movie. It was pretty cool. Distinguished Gentleman. Yes, it was because he was the distinguished gentleman from whatever. And he was a con man that got elected, conned his way into office, and then figured out that he should actually kind of had a change of heart and realized he should probably
do something
and do good.
That's the problem. The problem with with Congress is that their terms are only 2 years. So they're constantly campaigning. As a congressman, you have to constantly be campaigning.
Right.
Senators get in for 6 years, and so they've got some time to learn and do things, and then actually start campaigning again. I'm still a huge believer that both the House and the Senate should have term limits.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
Politics should not be a career. It's a civic duty. It should not. It should not be a career. And so I'm fine with even saying 3 terms for senators. Even if you wanted to do that, that's 18 years in office. That's almost 2 fucking decades that you could be in office.
A senator's term is 6 years.
Yes.
Oh. I thought it was 4. So
no, it's 6. And for a congressman, if you wanted to even bump that up to more, to make it kind of even. Okay. Sure. But they should have a limit. You should not be in Congress for 40 fucking years.
I agree because by that, I mean, they used to, I think it was Thomas Jefferson was the one that had said that to have a successful representative democracy, you need to have a revolution every 20 years. Now, he didn't mean a violent revolution, but he needed that there needs to be a changing of the guard basically every 20 years. You got to get the old ideas out, the old people out, the new people in, the younger ideas, because if you don't, you're just going to have these old men and women that are stuck in their ways, and that's, I'd say 18 years, more than enough time. They can move on to something else, and since, they could take that time that they get into office, they're in office 20 years, maybe they're out, they're still in their mid 50s, early 60s, they still got time to do some other things before they retire. Who knows?
Sorry, I'm laughing at something that just got said in the chat.
Look at these handsome dudes. Well, hey,
Well, the other thing that I believe in is
what a load of shit.
Thank you, though, Tote, whoever you are.
Yeah, thank you very much.
But the other thing that I truly believe in is that the no position in government should be permanent, and that includes SCOTUS. I think the Supreme Court needs to have limits
I
as
agree
well.
too. I've never understood. I mean, granted, we've had. You got to be. I've been impressed that somebody like Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. All right, I appreciate that again. Thanks. Thanks, Totes.
Totally lost your train of thought, didn't you?
Yeah.
Totally derailed.
The grand. Anyway, yeah, no, I mean, I was impressed that Ruth Bader Ginsburg was able to remain as progressive as she did throughout her entire time. Well, she was in her mid 80s when she finally, or late 80s when she finally passed away, and was still an active member of the Supreme Court. You know, but I still, like think that she should have that there's no reason why somebody that old should still be, you know, in that position. It needs to be.
I have no problem with the age. What I have a problem with is someone being in that office. So like Amy Barrett Cohen, who just got nominated. She's what, in her 40s?
She's younger than both of us. She's like 44.
Yeah. So I mean, she could be in there for 50 years.
Yeah, conceivably.
And that is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should have I would say, even saying like, let's see, what I was thinking about. I think I was thinking like 10 years, so that it would be that no president would have someone retiring that they actually had put into office.
Actually, Totes, we have actually discussed that before. Should old people drive or get retested? We think that yes, old people should get retested for their license at a certain point in their life.
Yeah.
We talked about, you know, I mean, the gray-haired dude is kind of sus behind the wheel. You are kind of sus behind the wheel there, Chris. No, but yeah, I mean, it comes down to the idea that, you know, just older people, you know, tend to stick to older ideas. They're, you know, and it's even been difficult for us at times to think about and talk about like some of these newfangled trends and ideas that are coming out. We're both in our 40s. And
I'm not anymore.
Oh, that's right. You turned 50. That's right.
Yeah.
You turned 50 this year. So it just comes down to the idea that we need to clear out the older people to make room, particularly in government, to make room for younger people with younger and new progressive ideas. You know, there's nothing wrong with respecting what came before, but we do need to. Somebody has really taken a piss out of the both of us tonight. Yeah. So anyway, we should probably like move on a little bit.
We should. We got so much else to talk about.
Right.
Let's start with Cyberpunk because that's probably actually the quickest.
Before we do that,
yeah.
What are you drinking?
Oh yeah, I guess we'll do that. I am drinking something I found. This is one of those things where I went to Meijer to pick up one thing, and I walked out $100 later.
I never spend less than $80 when I go to the grocery store, even when I'm just going, I need milk. Oh,
well, and that's the thing. I found two different kinds of Guinness that have been put out, and I believe that's from the U.S. Guinness here, Open Gate Brewery. This particular one is for the season. Imperial Gingerbread Spice Stout. It is...
okay. Gingerbread spiced stout.
Yes,
okay.
It is an Imperial Gingerbread Spice Stout. It's aged...
Tis the season.
Yes, it's aged in Kentucky bourbon barrels as well. It is 8% ABV. And it's like, you know, it's not as dark as most Guinness. It's more like a brown, really. It's like a dark brown. It's actually still see-through.
Yeah.
It does have a lot of like the spice aroma, kind of like the a lot of the spices that you would get for like mulling. Oops, as I just spilled some. Um, and honestly, I'm gonna take another sip here, but
You've just been called a basic bitch for drinking gingerbread stout.
yeah, fuck it, I don't care. Um, because I'm gonna also tell you this is really fucking good.
Is it?
Yes.
Do you can you really taste the gingerbread notes, or is it?
Yeah, you can. What it is it's more like there's quite a bit of cinnamon in there, but it does it tastes quite a bit like gingerbread. It is really good. I actually really like it. I would say I would probably give this because it's a spiced stout. With what they're doing with it, I would say this is probably at least worth a 4 bottle caps.
Right.
It's actually really good. This is something I could sit and sip on. I don't know that I would have more than one, and even like a half a one, which is what I'm having right now because I split it so that Renee could try it too. Um, but even that is probably enough because it is kind of rich. It is like a really rich beer. So. Oh, Dragon's Milk Solera. That's a good one, CD. I did that one a few weeks ago, or like a month or two ago. I still have one in the fridge. That is a really good beer. But yeah, this is really good. I'm gonna, like I said, 4 bottle caps.
All right.
So, what about you?
Well,
You drinking anything?
I'm not drinking tonight. My allergies are kind of through the roof, and I took an allergy pill like right before. I didn't want to like load alcohol on top of it and stuff. So not drinking tonight. But I do have some more Black Fang and some more triple jam for tomorrow, maybe, or later, or whenever. I do have to get to the store and get something new. I haven't drank anything new in a while, so probably tomorrow I'll get to the bottle shop and maybe pick up something when I go run off to do my variant errands for the day. I've got to hit the comic shop and whatnot. So
Yeah,
most probably next week I'll have something to drink.
Okay, cool. Well, this Friday we've got our D&D game.
We do. I'm going to be late because I have this is originally was supposed to be our last week for the holiday stroll at Canterbury Village, where I am portraying the role of Buddy the Elf from Elf, as we can see, it's Elf. So I'm supposed to be doing that one more time, or for 3 more days. Although they are potentially adding a few more days on. The thing is, I got yelled at because we all wear masks, and I'm running around as Buddy the Elf, and I take a lot of pictures with people. People get a big kick out of it. They got me the actual costume and a wig, and I'm like, "Hi guys, I'm Buddy the Elf," and it's been really, really fun and funny. But I would, when people would take pictures, I'd be like, "Okay, everybody, you want to get ready to take the picture?" And then I'd pull the mask down, hold my breath, smile, take the picture, put the mask up. Well, and most everybody was like, "Fine, great, no problem, we like that." Some woman wrote a long complaint on the Facebook page about it. And then I got bitched out. We're not going to lose our jobs because you did. I'm like, whoa, okay, hang on a sec. It's all right. Didn't know it was that big of a problem. I'm sorry, and it was just it was funny. I got some of the first initial compliments on Facebook for, hey, we had a great interaction with Buddy the Elf. It was a lot of fun, blah, blah, blah. And then specifically was the first actor to be shamed because I pulled my mask down for pictures, and then put it back up. So, so it was guys, the actor wrangler and then the guy running the whole thing both came up to me and it's like, hey, we need you to keep your mask on. And I'm like, I'm really sorry. And so anyway, it is a great event. It's great for the family. Everybody gets temperature checked before they come in. Everybody wears masks. And honestly, if you want to do shopping at the Canterbury Village, There's some really great like handmade products, some really great artisan products for some reason very reasonable prices too.
Mm-hmm.
So check it out, guys. But yeah, that means I will be running late to the game. I'm hoping to be signing in by 10, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be a good time. But speaking of D&D, one of the things I wanted to bring up real quick before we even get into the cyberpunk stuff and all the other stuff, but this is something that came up today that I just saw, that this Friday, same day as our game, 7 o'clock on Twitch, right here. They the Stranger Things cast,
Tavern Nights,
yes. Stranger Things cast will be playing D&D on YouTube.
well, that's fucking cool.
Um,
That's about time, honestly.
yeah, and that's the thing. That's what a lot of them are saying. I'm surprised it's taken them this long. But it's basically Dustin, Hooper, or Hopper, whatever his name is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
What's her name? The sister.
Okay, we know.
Yeah, and somebody else. I don't remember who it was, but yeah, I saw the article today that first spam comment of the night. But yeah, they're going to be playing. I guess they've already played, I think, but they're actually running it's called like Toys for 10 Towns or something like that. It's basically like a holiday story based in 10 towns. So it's in the Icewind Dale area.
Oh, okay. Still really fucking cool. Looks like we got a spam post on our.
Yeah, we get those at least once a week.
Wow, I never saw that before.
Yep.
So yes, CD Stranger Things is a great show. I've only seen the first 2 seasons. I haven't watched season 3 yet. Which you need to do because season 4 is a coming.
Yeah, but we don't have a date yet. We had a preview. We had like a trailer for it in like February, and we still don't have a date. So
everything's been delayed. So
yep.
I looked up Eddie Murphy real quick to find that the name of the distinguished gentleman in that movie. He's got a movie coming up. It's in pre-production, Triplets. It's a sequel to the movie Twins with Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito, where they find out that they actually had a third brother, that they were triplets.
Oh, and he's black?
Yeah. And
okay. And they're all old men now and can't do anything anyway, so...
and they've also announced Beverly Hills Cop 4, so...
wait, there wasn't a 3.
What?
There wasn't a Beverly Hills Cop 3.
Yeah, there was. It just was awful.
No, I refuse to. That was not Beverly Hills Cop. You can't. First of all, you can't. Beverly Hills Cop cannot be a PG-13 movie.
Yeah, I agree. It was awful. I'm really looking forward to Coming to America 2 or Coming to
CD.
America.
That wasn't that never happened.
So was the amusement park. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It was horrid, dude. It was like Highlander 2 horrid.
Oh, it was really bad. It was quite awful. All right, so
Cyberpunk 2077.
All right, yeah, let's go into that first. Okay, so first, the game today is the 15th. The game has literally only been open and been available for 5 days.
Yep.
And in that 5 days, we have seen probably the worst video game launch of all time. They have apologized. They have offered refunds, although it is not easy to get them. They have fallen all over themselves saying we screwed up. We concentrated too much on making sure that it worked on the next gen systems and high-end computers, and didn't think about and didn't put enough effort into making sure it worked well in the last gen systems.
But the thing is that they didn't even put it out for the new gen systems.
Right. It's not even optimized. It's not even optimized for the next gen systems.
Yeah,
either.
it's if you want to play it on the next gen system, you have to play it on backward compatibility mode.
Right, and it's still, although from what I understand, particularly after the couple patches that that have gone up, that it's actually running all right on the PS5 and the Xbox.
It's running okay on the computer, I'll tell you that.
Yes, and also because, well,
but I still have had glitches, even as of Saturday. I didn't play it much on. Well, I played it a little bit on Sunday. That's actually when I had a glitch, and then I didn't play it at all yesterday, and I played it a little bit today, and I just got frustrated because I was getting my ass kicked. So
I bought it for the PlayStation. I'm halfway tempted just to because I bought the PS4 disc. I'm halfway tempted just to fucking say fuck it and just buy it on Steam, and I'm sure my machine can run it. Just so, because I know that if I put it in my PS4, it's probably going to be super glitchy. And because I don't have a Pro, they say it works okay, it runs all right on the Pro as well. Again, like no glitches then usually. I saw this great.
I don't like waiting a decade for a game usually.
Yeah,
no.
I saw this great meme. It was people. It was like a guy with a noose around his neck, and it said cyberpunk, fans. And then he's weeping, is whatever. And the next was the image of James Franco next to him, smiling with the noose around his neck, and it says Bethesda fans, and he said, "Your first time, huh?"
Well, and I just saw something today that said, it showed like it was The Simpsons, and it was like, Cyberpunk 2077. We're gonna go ahead and release with all the bugs, and then it showed Marge yelling Bethesda no, and it shows like Bart with the Bethesda over his face, and she's like, oh sorry, that was just reaction,
reflex.
Yeah, just reflex.
Because I mean, so that's a thing. The thing is people that are asking for refunds are fools, because they're gonna patch this game, and it's gonna be awesome. They're going to patch it. They're going to fix it. It's going to take some time. They've said that they've got a patch was coming this week, which I think has already been released. And they've already said that the patch that got released this week has fixed a lot of the problems.
That's patch 104, which the PC got on Friday.
Right. The the next two patches, the one coming in January and February, will most probably fix a lot of the issues that console users are experiencing. So they're going to patch this game, and it's going to be great. I mean, some of the early reviews for it were pretty positive.
All right. I haven't even played through the prologue yet. And it's a cool-ass fucking game. I will say that. It really is. Is it like taking me away from all the other stuff that I'm playing? No. It's not going to. I really thought it would. I thought that I was going to be obsessed with it. We've been bugging one of our friends to run the Cyberpunk tabletop for years now.
Right.
And so a bunch of us have been really, jonesing for playing this, because we used to play it back in the 90s. And I thought that this was going to be that. I thought this was going to be Cyberpunk. And while it has that feel, and a lot of that is there, one, it's not nearly as deadly as the Cyberpunk tabletop was.
Right.
Which it can't be. I mean, let's face it, the Cyberpunk tabletop, you take one shot, there's a chance you're going to die. It's like any video game. You have to take a bunch of shots. You have the ability to heal yourself. All this stuff.
Right.
It's not easy though. I'm playing it on normal mode, and it's definitely not easy. There's a lot of things you can do. I actually was looking at the tutorial. There's this heist you have to do. And they say you shouldn't, they do this whole thing about you shouldn't take anyone out. It'll, make it easier, blah, blah, blah. So you shouldn't kill anyone. It's good. And there's like non-lethal takedowns and stuff. And you can play stealth mode. And I was looking at doing that. And I was trying to do that. And then all of a sudden I got spotted, and it just became a big firefight. So I was looking at a walkthrough online that showed how you had to do it, and they're like, oh, well, you just take this guy out, and then you take this guy out, and then you move on to this level, and then there's this camera here. You You move over this way, you hack this camera, then you distract this guy and you take him out, and then you have to hack this camera and do that. I'm like, oh, you know what? Fuck that. I'm just gonna shoot my fucking way out of this. Everybody gonna fucking die now. Cause the idea that I have to map out, all right, this camera's here and I distract this guy here and that's too much.
I agree. I mean, and that's the thing. A lot of people will just do that. Speaking of the PS5 and the name, I mean, it's still really difficult to get a hold of any or any of the next gen systems. I like on one of the major news websites that I get things from. They've been giving updates as when they're restocking. Now, Best Buy was having a 3-day sale. And it was supposed to be a big 3-day sale. And they were announcing that they were getting PlayStations, and they were already sold out. Like, I even set my alarm for 8 a.m. to check the websites and stuff. And still, I mean, it was like constant trying to reload the page and reload the page. And it's just like impossible. It's damn near impossible. And I'm looking at them now. Everything is sold out. All the packages, the one that comes with Spider-Man Miles Morales, the one that comes with 2 controllers, everything is friggin' sold out. I had more or less resigned myself to just waiting until after the new year and maybe getting one in January or February, but I kind of was like, man, I think I just really want to get it now. And I have not been able to get it. The last time, the closest thing that I saw was that Amazon finally had one secondary dealer that was selling one for like $150 more than the retail price. I'm like, fuck you, man. I'm not paying $700 for something I can get for $500 in another month.
Yeah, I've given up. I don't even care anymore. Honestly, they have lost my care at this point.
They've lost your care.
Yeah, if they had put out.
Your bucket of fucks is gone?
Yeah, my bucket of fucks is gone. If they had put it out with the proper amount, I mean, they knew what the fucking design, what the demand was going to be for this. They intentionally keep it back to try and drive up that hype and that want. And what it does is it does the opposite for me. I'm like, fine, fuck you. I'll wait.
Yeah, and they're saying it's the largest, the PS5, it's the largest international launch for a console ever. And it's already selling like crazy. I mean, I saw another article saying that scalpers have sold over 60,000 units.
Well, that's all anybody wants them for right now.
Yeah.
People just want to buy them so they can resell them.
Yeah. Or so that the desperate people at Christmas don't want to have it so that their kid can open it on Christmas morning. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's asinine in my opinion. Just wait if that's the case. Just wait it out.
Yep.
And ultimately, I mean, because that's it. Ultimately, I've got 3 games maybe that I really want to play on the PS5, which is my Avengers game that I just bought that I haven't put in yet. 2077 and maybe Last of Us 2.
Miles Morales, I kind of want to play on it.
I want to play that too, but I don't own that one yet. I mean, I still have a bunch of games that I can continue to play on my 4, and my 4 still looks great. I'm still playing. Surprisingly, I haven't been playing I haven't been doing like a ton of gaming like I usually do the first couple of weeks out of working at the parade. I've been trying to get stuff done around the house. I've been trying to get, and sleeping a lot, getting
artwork done.
I have been getting some artwork done, yeah, and I've been trying to just get things accomplished and whatnot. So I'm still finishing up Vampire, which great game. It's a really great game. We've talked about it, guys. Particularly for those of you who
I should get back to that one.
Yeah, for those of you who are waiting for the Vampire the Masquerade game, it's a good kind of
and it's
balance. It's kind of a good kind of thing to hold you over for it.
And it's kind of on point for the way things are right now.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. It takes place during a pandemic, You see people wearing masks and kind of similar to the ones we wear now, and it's wild. You'd think the
Well,
technology would improve.
I saw a picture of people, 3 people, and this one woman had a sign she was wearing on her chest that said "Wear a mask or go to jail," and it was from 1918.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that too. I saw that picture too. So yeah, CD, I agree. I don't think it's not supply. I think they have the supplies. I think
Yep.
the retailers are holding them back.
If the retailers aren't, Sony is.
Well, see, Sony had said that everything's out, that they've sold their supply, and they're making more, but that I think the retailers are honestly are holding them back, and that's the other thing too, because you can't these days you can't walk into a store because the demand is so high. You can't walk into a store and just buy a PlayStation 5. I think they're trying to keep from.
They'd have fist fights.
Yeah, I think they're trying to keep from having runs on them, and having like fucking riots, because you can only buy them online and then pick them up at the store, or through Amazon you can have them delivered. But that's the other thing too. People are having their PlayStations are being stolen, or they're buying something from eBay and it's a fucking box of bricks. And so there are some PlayStation scams out there. So
somebody actually
beware.
Somebody actually put a thing up on eBay, and I saw this. It was hilarious. It was a picture of the PlayStation 5. And they specifically stated in all the description stuff that this was just a picture. And they had it up for $500. And they said, if you are a human, because bots were out there buying things.
Right.
And they said, if you are a human, do not buy this.
Right.
And I'm like, that's fucking genius. That is awesome. They said, there will be no refunds. Do not ask for your money back. They put all of that in their description.
It's crazy. I just checked out the PlayStation 5 console listing on Amazon, and that one listing that had that alternate seller through Amazon, that's gone now. It says currently unavailable. So somebody took them up on it and bought it for $750 or whatever it was. I think it's fucking ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think that that they would have been creating these things nonstop for the last 6 months to create the supply for the demand that they would have. Because that's the thing, even if they had a surplus of PlayStation 5s for this Christmas season, it just means they'd have more for later.
Yeah.
It's not like they're going to go bad. They're not going to spoil,
So we got off topic a little bit there, but
we did.
Cyberpunk 2077, it is a beautiful game. It is stunningly pretty.
Yeah.
I
did see a review.
But it is glitchy.
Yeah. And I did see a review that aside from the glitches aside, that there are of somebody kind of they did continue to say it's a beautiful game, but the role-playing aspect, the gameplay aspects were not the best. Like there's certain aspects of the role-playing or the gaming part.
You only have so many options.
Yeah.
I like that occasionally your background, which doesn't really play a huge part in the game. You get 3 backgrounds you can choose from: Nomad, Street Kid, or Corpo. And every once in a while, your background kind of comes into your responses. You can make a response as that for like the knowledge that you have, which is kind of cool. But overall, like I said, I haven't even played through the prologue yet. I've played for probably 6 hours, is all I've played over the last 5 days. I really haven't played nearly as much as I thought I would. I do plan on getting into it more, hopefully this weekend. But I've been working on things for D&D and stuff like that, and for the show off my work time. So, but yeah, that's it. It really is a pretty game, but it is glitchy. Know that going in. I think it's going to get better. I still plan on playing it. I just got to get better at it.
Yeah, I probably will eventually put it in and wait for the downloads, wait for everything to download, and play it a little bit. I do have a bunch of games that I kind of want to play beforehand that I've been holding on to for a while. I want to replay Last of Us 1, and then play Last of Us 2.
I actually want to play those too.
Yeah,
Even Renee has said she wants to play those now.
Oh, they're so good.
Laura
They're
Bailey
so good.
won Best Actress, Best Voice Actress in a game for this year.
Yeah. Well, Ashley Johnson is the main character in Last of Us.
Yes,
or
but
she's
but Laura
the
Bailey won Best Actress over Ashley Johnson in for Last of Us Part 2.
I think she's the villain. I think she does the voice of one of the villains or something like that. So
I don't think she's actually a villain. I think she's she's another character that comes in there that does things that's kind of villainous.
That's villainous, yeah. And that's why she was getting like
threats. I watched her acceptance speech and it was fantastic. And she actually said that it was amazing to play this character. And the way she put it was just so cool. She said, it was amazing to be able to play this character that created so much passion in people.
I think she is the Meryl Streep of the voiceover industry.
Dude, I'm playing WoW again. I went back and they did a bunch of changes to WoW, and I'm replaying some things and I'm playing some new characters. And and she's the voice of one of these main characters in this, and I'm like, and I forgot that she played this character, and I was playing the game and I was like, wait a minute, I know that voice. Holy shit. And I looked it up and I'm like, it is. And I'm like, I just want to keep playing this over and over to hear her voice. Because she has such a great voice for games.
Yeah. Well, I'd actually like to see her do more acting, just with less voice and doing more regular acting. I don't want to say real acting because I think they're both real. I think that's a bad a misnomer. But I would love to see her do more. I think all of them, honestly. I'd love to see all of them do more regular acting because I think that they are all of them are underserved a great deal, underserved because they're just amazing. They're really, really incredible.
Well, we should
anyway. So yeah, guys. Cyberpunk 2077, hold out. The game's going to be amazing. I mean, it's already made its money back from the sales. It's had a huge amount, some massive.
Yeah, we'll see how much they have to pay back to people because they are offering refunds still.
Well, they said that it has been said that the money it's going to cost to fix the game is irrelevant because they need to repair their reputation now. And well,
they had a lot of bad press too for their crunch time stuff,
right?
And
because of the crunch stuff, they've also said that this is one of the reasons why we may need to. I'm like, this is one of the examples against things like against pre-ordering games, because the pre-order of Cyberpunk 2077 was enough to pretty much pay for it. So I think maybe we need to stop doing that. People need to just make these games.
One of the things I've seen a lot of things like, they're like, it's all the different memes about, release the game, it's not ready yet. Release the game, it's not ready yet. Release the game. All right, we'll release it. Why is it so fucking buggy?
Because you told us to release it.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, though, is that what that doesn't say is the fact that CD Projekt Red had promised this game in February.
Right.
And then said, you know what, it's not going to be ready. So they moved it back to September, and then COVID hit.
Right.
Which pushed it back even more. So they kept promising a game and kept pushing it back. And people who pre-ordered it in February were like, give me my fucking game.
Right.
And so I understand that. So it's not just people screaming that, I want the game, I want the game, I want the game. It's the fact that these game companies promise a date and then move it back. They keep moving the goalpost. And they're like, you know what, we're not ready yet. Oh, we're going to move it. Oh, you know what, we're still not ready yet. And at a certain point, you start feeling like, if you've pre-ordered this game, you're like, whoa, I gave you my fucking money thinking this was going to come out here. It's now 6 months later and I still don't have my fucking product.
Right. And that's another reason why we should probably that pre-ordering games should be, maybe either done away with, or or maybe people need to be a lot more patient if they're going to do that kind of thing. It's
Well,
kind of like what happens with when with Kickstartering and GoFunding games, because with those you are taking a chance
mhm.
on whether you're going to, when the game's
Well,
going to come out, if it's going to come out.
the other thing that I think is an issue with this is, and I think this was a mistake on CD Projekt Red's. I understand why they did it, but I think it was a mistake on their part. Was it was 2 fucking years ago that they put out 45 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah, yeah, that was a mistake.
Yeah, you put out 45 minutes of gameplay, people think the game's almost done.
Exactly, you shouldn't have done that. And some people are blaming too that the fact that it's a European game company, that they do things differently in Poland than they do like here. That's why crunch was so tough. I did hear that I did read an article saying that all of the game developers would still be getting their bonuses.
Yep.
Because originally they were tying the bonuses into how well the game would end up, what was going to do, but then they did away with that. They were like, bullshit. We're not going to do that to our.
That was a safe face.
Yeah, yeah, because they did. They were the ones that had said, we're not going to do crunch. We're not going to do crunch. We're not going to do crunch. And yet they still said, well, we ended up having to do some crunch. There was like several months of 6, weekdays of 12-hour day, or 6 weekday,
6 days,
6-day weeks with 12-hour days.
Yes.
I mean, like, and that's an intense.
Mm-hmm.
That's 72-hour weeks, man. That's crazy. That's kind of like what I was doing my last, week or two at the Parade Company in a couple of weeks. So, they can't allow that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, like I said, they're going to fix this game. It's going to be great, and it's one of those things where they're still making plans. They're saying they're pushing back the multiplayer. They were originally saying that multiplayer was probably going to be ready by 22, but now they're saying closer to 23 because they want to spend plenty of time fixing this game. They're already like the mod community is already going, we're going to try and fix this ourselves, and things like that. They're already figuring out ways to mod the game, so it's going to be a great game. And
I don't doubt that it's going to be great. I mean, it already is. I'm enjoying it for what it is, and I know that you lose your buddy after the prologue, but I really like Jackie, your friend that you make in the prologue. He's really cool.
Well, thanks for the spoiler. That's
no problem, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. I actually haven't gotten to that point yet. It's already been spoiled for me.
Oh,
okay. But yeah, overall though, it's a good game. I think it's going to be
a big success.
So, we should probably move on because we're already running out of time. Right. We're already at 1 hour and 10 minutes. And we haven't even started on the Disney dump yet.
The Disney dump. All right, before we get into the Disney dump, I got a couple of quick hits that I just kind of wanted to hit real fast. Apparently, the Wonder Woman 1984, the Wonder Woman sequel, which premieres on HBO Max and in theaters where available on Christmas, is getting excellent reviews. They're saying it's fantastic. It's the blockbuster we need right now.
I look forward to watching it on Christmas Day.
Me too.
At home.
Absolutely. At home. I mean, I'd love
sitting in my chair.
I'd love to see it in the theater. I mean, particularly since they're saying that the theaters are having a tough time now. That when some of the largest theater companies, the largest theater company in the world, I don't know which one, is going to be out of money at the end of the month. We're talking about a lot of these. The theater companies are really suffering because of this. That the theater companies operate at a pretty tight budget.
Yeah, they're saying we may not have theaters after COVID.
Yeah. Which means that will dramatically change the way movies are made, the way movies are funded. It will also probably shoot up the price of a lot of streaming services.
Which we're already seeing prices go up. Netflix is increasing their price. Disney Plus is increasing their price.
Yeah, I just got
Hulu just increased their price.
Right. Disney or Netflix went up $1. Yep. Not a huge deal, but still it's $1. Disney is going up like from $5 to like $8. Once again, That's not too bad. I mean, I
Well,
can.
and it doesn't bother me because I've got another 2 years of Disney Plus
There you go.
that I've already prepaid for. So,
But yeah, so the movie industry will dramatically change because of, I think it's what it's going to do. It's going to even things out a little bit more. Because for the longest time, there was a big divide between TV and movie. And then over throughout the 90s and the aughts, that kind of blurred.
well, I'll tell you what, if they do what they did with like Mulan, where it's like $30 when it first comes out, I won't pay it.
I'll wait.
I'll wait. Mm-hmm. I'm like, fuck you, I'll wait.
Yeah.
I will not watch movies when they first come out.
Because Mulan was released, 2 months ago on Disney Plus for the additional $30 or whatever it is.
And now it's on Disney Plus.
I can wait. I'm fine. Yeah. I'm fine with that. So the other one thing that I was just going to pop in about, let's see, that's about Cyberpunk. Yeah. Bugs will be eliminated after console updates. That's what they're saying. Much better shape next year, which is, in 2 weeks. Yeah. So
3 weeks.
Okay. 3 weeks. We'll see.
2.5, whatever.
Yeah, they had CD Projekt Red had a big Zoom call with a lot of their investors, and they were falling over themselves, apologizing. So we'll see. But the other thing that was released today, Chris Pine has been cast.
Yes, this is something I was going to talk about too.
Right, in a Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, I didn't hear he was cast. I heard he was in talks.
Dungeons and Dragons movie casts Chris Pine using a 5th level spell slot. The upcoming Dungeons and Dragons movie has added Chris Pine as its first official party cast member. Party crossed out. The casting decision was revealed by The Hollywood Reporter, though we don't have any idea who Pine will be playing yet. We do know that the film is set to be an action fantasy movie with a lot of comedic elements, as many D&D adventures typically end up becoming, whether the Dungeon Master wants them to or not. Make sure you discuss the intended tone of your campaign during session 0 is all I'm saying. Since it's based on an entire role-playing game system with years of history rather than one specific story, the D&D movie could go in all kinds of directions. The majority of D&D products have been set in the world of the Forgotten Realms ever since D&D's 5th edition came out in 2014. So maybe, God, it's 6 years old now? Shit. So maybe we'll see Chris Pine as a younger version of the great wizard Elminster or Wood Elf Ranger or something. I don't know. The latest version of the script was written by Game Night's Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly. John Francis Daly, who you remember was one of the kids on Freaks and Geeks, and he was a cast member of Bones for a long time. He's been in a bunch of stuff. Who is also set to direct the film. John Francis Daly is set to direct the film. I'm all about that. John Francis Daly is a great writer. He's a geek. He's definitely a nerd type of guy. So as far as we know, it doesn't have any connection to the 2000 movie that starred Jeremy Irons its big mage villain, or that film's 2 made-for-TV sequels. The Dungeons & Dragons movie is currently set to hit theaters on May 27th of 22. Though with the pandemic's cascading effects on the film industry, any given release date is more of a release hope these days. So that was all I wanted to talk about there.
Oh, one of the things I forgot to mention earlier about the Stranger Things D&D, it's actually being run by Chris Perkins.
Cool. That's cool.
So
yeah, I have a mutual acquaintance that knows both Taliesin and Chris Perkins.
Get him on the goddamn show, man! Come on.
It's a friend. It's somebody I met. She's on my friend Chad's Wizard of Dend podcast that they're working on. And it's another live action D&D game similar to Tavern Knights, and I was involved with it at the beginning, but then now I'm not really involved as much. I'm just kind of doing some art for them. But I guess one of the cast members worked with Taliesin Jaffe years ago. She's also a washing wench on the Renaissance Festival circuit, and she knows Chris Perkins as well. So
cool.
It's interesting. Yeah. We should probably move on to the.
All right. So let's start with Marvel.
Okay. Well, this happened 4 days ago on the 11th. Disney had a big.
Last Thursday
had a big
investor
day. Yeah. Investor Day, where they revealed all the stuff that that's going to be coming.
They did all the stuff for Disney, Marvel, and Lucasfilm.
Oh well,
And
and the other stuff they talked about,
yeah,
some live action movies and some upcoming animated stuff that's not really Disney as much, Pixar stuff, FX stuff, because they and Hulu
just
stuff.
so fucking much.
Yeah.
Um, I've pretty much just got the Disney and Lucasfilm stuff because that's enough to talk about. I mean, I've got there
And
were
Marvel.
there or Marvel. I mean, there were 18 things announced for Marvel.
Yeah.
Plus, there's another one that I've heard a bunch of stuff about. So,
Now, and a lot of this stuff too is that they're real cagey about too. They didn't give a
yeah.
whole lot of detail.
And then there's also another 12 things for Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
So let's start with Marvel because there's more.
Okay. We may run a little late tonight, guys.
Yeah. So first thing with Marvel, is the first show that's going to be coming out next January 15th is WandaVision.
Yes.
We got a new trailer for it.
Right.
Which I actually haven't even watched yet.
It looks great. It's a new show, and it's. I'm guessing that the Witch and Vision are inside the Mind Gem, but that's just my guess because it does look like this very kind of mind-bending, reality warping kind of thing. They've also made mention that at one point Kevin Feige did say that Captain Marvel was the most powerful hero of the whole Marvel universe, whatever of their slate. Now they're saying maybe it's Scarlet Witch because she has these reality warping abilities. Also, there was talk that Brie Larson was potentially going to be kicked out and they're going to recast Captain Marvel. But apparently that is not the case. She has been attached to Captain Marvel 2. So,
which is another one that they announced.
Right.
Yeah.
Coming up real soon, WandaVision in January.
There's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yes.
Which is going to also tie into Spider-Man 3.
Right.
And
tying in directly to Spider-Man 3. Mm-hmm.
Which is the stuff that I had that was not quite related to this that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that they're going to bring Tobey Maguire back.
Well,
and Kirsten Dunst.
They're still talking to Tobey.
And Andrew Garfield. Yeah. And Emma Stone. That they want all of them back.
They've already signed on Jamie Foxx to reprise his role as Electro. They've signed on Alfred Molina to reprise his role as Doc Ock.
Yep.
They've also, I believe I think they're still talking to Garfield and Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire asked for $15 million to come back as Spider-Man. So,
well, and I saw a thing where they were showing that he's going to be like a battle-scarred Spider-Man.
Yeah. Like an older Spider-Man, and
he had scars on his face and stuff like that, and
we are talking about the multiverse, so we could be seeing an older Spider-Man.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
I would love to see. But one of the things I saw was that if they don't do like a Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire recreation of the Spider-Man animated show,
were they pointing at each other?
Then it's not worth it.
I saw a meme that said, "Do I have to watch Spider-Man 1, 2, 3, Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, and Spider-Man 1 and 2,
Homecoming and
Homecoming
Far From Home
to understand what's going to happen in Spider-Man 3?" And people were like,
"Yes."
Why wouldn't you? Yeah. And somebody else put throw in the animated one too. That's a big deal, man. They were talking about.
Hey, Garfield was probably Garfield was a great Spider-Man. He wasn't a great Peter.
I thought he was a little too modern of a Peter. He was a little too. I mean, he was very much Ultimate Spider-Man and Ultimate Peter Parker, where he was a little more confident, more
definitely Spider-Man 3 with Tobey. That one could get completely thrown out because that was Sam Raimi being forced to do something that he didn't want to do,
right?
Along with doing what he wanted to do.
I heard that Thomas Hayden is going to come back as Sandman too.
Okay, I had not heard that.
And he was good,
but I didn't realize that it was Raimi that was actually directing Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah, he's directing
the tie-in to the multiverse is kind of interesting with the whole
pretty cool.
him being from Spider-Man.
They're going to say it's got a lot more horror elements. It's going to be a little scarier. And also Scarlet Witch is going to be appearing in Doctor Strange as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be pretty cool too. I did read that apparently Dave Bautista, who plays Drax the Destroyer in Guardians of the Galaxy, said that the Marvel storylines have changed and they won't intersect like originally planned, largely because of the COVID-19, and the pandemic changes and stuff. So they've moved around a lot of the movies and which is, so things are going to be a little weird how things are going to connect. Because like Black Widow has been delayed for quite a bit again. Falcon the Winter Soldier is now
there's
been
actually
bumped
not
out.
there wasn't even any mention of Black Widow that I saw.
Yeah, not in this thing. Yeah, I mean they still are sitting on that one. I mean, granted, Black Widow is a prequel. It takes place before the current thing, so they can release that at any time.
Right, but that was one of the things out of the 18 things that they announced for Marvel. That was not one of them.
Not one of them. Yeah, exactly.
Were you going to say something else?
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, just to move on, we got Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, stars Simu Liu as Shang-Chi and stuff. That was also announced. It's going to have Awkwafina, Tony Leung, Michelle Yeoh are also going to be starring in that. So that's going to be Marvel's kung fu movie, and I'm really looking forward to that as well.
Well, and we got another trailer for Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes,
which we're really going to see more. It shows more of that. We're going to see a lot more of Falcon with the shield.
Yes, and that's in March. That's right around the corner as well.
Yes, yeah, I think that's the thing. There's been a lot of talk about, are we going to get Marvel fatigue with all of these?
I don't think so.
And they compared it to the DC fatigue, which with the Arrowverse, which was. First you had Arrow, then you had Flash, then you had Supergirl, then you had DC, you had the Legends, and then you had this and all this. I'm like, yeah, except that all of those shows, the difference is that all of those shows were full season, 20 episodes shows for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all on simultaneously.
Right.
That I can see giving you fatigue. What we're going to get here is we're going to get WandaVision. Then we're going to get
Falcon
and Winter Soldier. Then we're going to get Loki, which is the next one I was going to talk about. Then we're going to get, none of these shows are going to be on simultaneously.
Or if they are, they're going to overlap by like an episode or two.
Yeah.
I could see that happening. Like maybe they'll go, okay, and this show's almost over, and now here's the premiere for She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Or here's Ms. Marvel, and stuff like that. So these are also two other things. We also got, like you had said, WandaVision is going to have, it's actually, to go back to that real quick, it's going to have a couple of characters in it that we haven't seen in a while. Darcy from the Thor movies, played by Kat Dennings. Also,
which I love Darcy.
Yeah, she's great. I love Kat Dennings. So
yeah.
Also, the guy who played
look, Meow Meow.
Yeah, the character who played Jimmy Woo, the actor who played Jimmy Woo in the in Ant-Man and the Wasp. He's going to be returning. He's going to be in WandaVision. Also, the character of Monica Rambeau, who is the little girl, the daughter of Captain Marvel's flight partner and whatnot. Mm-hmm. She's going to be a grown woman in this, and we'll see her later on as Photon or whatever, however she's going to be, because she was the Black Captain Marvel from the 80s. All these characters are going to be appearing in these shows, and then we're going to end up seeing them in the movies and other shows. It seems to me that they are now more closely, Disney and Marvel are more closely tying the TV shows into the movies, which is something that I think a lot of people wanted with the Netflix shows and with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We didn't see them tie into the movies as well and as much as they could have.
Actually, speaking of Spider-Man 3, that's the other thing. They're saying Charlie Cox will be in Spider-Man 3 as Matt Murdock.
Yeah, and there's also talk of him appearing in
Daredevil.
There's also talk of him appearing in She-Hulk as well, because Jennifer Walters, the She-Hulk, is a lawyer.
Yeah.
So there's talk of him appearing as Matt Murdock as well. Now that the Daredevil rights
we are now over 2 years. It was in I think November.
Yes.
That we passed the 2-year mark. So Daredevil is good, and in a couple of months we get Jessica Jones, and in a couple of months later we'll get
Luke Cage, and then Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Yep. So they did also confirm that Black Panther 2 will honor the legacy of Chadwick Boseman and his portrayal of T'Challa, and the character will not be recast. So instead, the movie will continue to explore the incomparable world of Wakanda and all of its rich and varied characters introduced in the first film. My guess is that his sister will become the new Black Panther.
I think they've pretty much said that she's going to be the new Black Panther.
Yeah. But it was confirmed again.
Yeah.
The upcoming series of Ms. Marvel will introduce us to Iman Vellani's Kamala Khan, a 16-year-old Pakistani-American growing up in Jersey City who idolized the superheroes, especially Captain Marvel. And she struggles to fit in at home and at school, that is, until she develops superpowers of her own. Now, that's going to be pretty great. The character of Kamala Khan, the superhero of Ms. Marvel, has broken a lot of barriers. It's crashed a lot of walls down, and has been arguably one of the most popular new superheroes to come out of Marvel in the last decade. So that's pretty awesome.
Well, we got the Loki series that's going to be coming out, which is going to be basically a trip through space and time.
Yeah, it looks like what happens is Loki ends up working for the Time Bureau, basically the other dimensional, extra dimensional kind of organization that polices time through the Marvel universe. You'd think, honestly, through the comic books, you'd look at them and think they don't really do a good job, because they're always somebody's always fucking with the time stream in Marvel Comics. But they have shown up in the Marvel Comics from time to time. Owen Wilson is in the trailer. He's obviously a part. It's kind of cool. Like they're in an elevator, and there's all these buttons with all these different symbols symbols and different letters and stuff on it. And I was trying to look. I mean, I'll bet that a lot of those various buttons probably correspond with different events that happened in Marvel in the Marvel universe. And I'd be surprised to see if somebody hasn't already like deciphered that. That'd be kind of cool. Like the Age of Ultron or the Mutant Massacre, things like that. So I think from what I've seen, the Loki TV show looks like it's going to be fucking awesome.
It looks like it's going to be hilarious because, I mean, they show him like being DB Cooper. Like he's on a plane and he puts a parachute on and drops sunglasses. It's like he's about to jump out the plane.
Right. So I think it's going to be really cool because he is basically now a paradox.
Yes.
When they changed the time stream, or they changed the what happened in Endgame, he became a time paradox. Okay. So that's pretty wild.
We got What If.
What If, that the animated series What If, that looks incredible. For those of you guys who are not aware, What If is taking the something that happens in the Marvel universe and switching it up so that it's slightly different, such as Agent Carter becoming the super soldier instead of Steve Rogers, or T'Challa being picked up by the Reavers and becoming the Star-Lord instead of Peter Quill. And seeing those all animated, I think it looks really cool. The cool thing is they're getting all of the actors back to do the voices of their characters. Well, short of, unless Chadwick Boseman already recorded his.
He may have.
He might have, yeah. So I'm really excited. I always loved the What If comic books, and some of them were some really brilliant storytelling. So I think this is going to be really cool stuff. Let's see. Oh, okay. So Tatiana Maslany is playing She-Hulk, aka Jennifer Walters.
Which I'll tell you what, I would have watched the She-Hulk show anyway. Mm-hmm. That makes me want to watch it even more. She is such a talented actress.
I hear she's really fantastic. I haven't watched Orphan Black yet.
Oh my God, she's so good in that.
Yeah, I mean, they were also talking to Alison Brie for a while, and I really like her. But I think Alison Brie really, really would have pushed to the comedy aspect. And although it is going to be kind of have a funny aspect, I'm sure. I think this is going to be with Tatiana Maslany. I think it'll maintain a little more seriousness
Well,
of it.
they've also mentioned that Mark Ruffalo is going to be in it.
And as well, they've also talked. Yeah, he's going to probably be showing up from time to time, if not at the beginning, maybe throughout the thing. They've also, excuse me. They've also said that they're going to be bringing back the Betty Ross from the second Hulk movie, the first one in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which was played by Liv Tyler. She's going to be the Red She-Hulk, and then they also are
they're bringing back Abomination.
The Abomination, correct? Tim Roth, who played the Abomination. Yeah. So they're going to be bringing back all these actors.
They've got so many big names for a lot of these things,
right?
For TV shows.
Yeah, I mean, we've also got now Haley Steinfeld has also been, you might have seen her in the Bumblebee movie and some other things. She's been confirmed as Kate Bishop in the Hawkeye show. We've seen images of her online. Plus, we're also getting an Ironheart, a Secret Invasion, and Armor Wars show.
Yes.
The Armor Wars show, which we'll see Don Cheadle return.
Yes.
Yes. So I don't know. I mean, some of these could potentially be animated. Some of these could be live action. Some of these
are all supposed to be a live action.
Live action.
Secret Invasion is supposed to bring back Samuel L. Jackson and what's his name that played the
Skrull.
The Skrull guy.
Right.
And then Ironheart is supposed to be live action.
Okay.
Armor Wars is supposed to be live action.
Well, my guess is that what these will do is actually all tie in. These are going to be things that are going to tie in to the other shows.
They're saying that between Ironheart and the Ant-Man and Wasp 3 that they're talking about.
Yes, Ant-Man and Wasp 3, Quantumania.
Where they're bringing in Cassie.
Right.
That they're saying they are... What's that?
She's been recast.
Yes.
So they got a different actress.
Yeah. She's a little older. But they're saying that this is really setting up Young Avengers.
Yes. Yeah, I heard that as well.
They have pretty much... They haven't said it, but there's no way that they're not setting up Young Avengers.
Of course. Because, I mean, if you've got Kate Bishop as the new Hawkeye, as the second Hawkeye, or as his partner, because that's what she became, kind of his partner. Then you've got Cassie Lang, who becomes Stature, the size-changing superhero. You're not that far away from Iron Lad and from and that's the other thing too. They're establishing an actor, Jonathan Majors, to play Kang the Conqueror. So you're not that far away from Iron Lad and from Hulkling and Wiccan and all these characters and Speed and all these characters that made up the Young Avengers. So I think that's great. We're right around the corner from that. Let's see. We also have. They did talk about the Eternals, which is the newest ensemble of heroes that was supposed to come out in November. It has been delayed because of COVID. It's directed by Chloe Zhao. The all-star cast includes Richard Madden, Gemma Chan, Kumail Nanjiani, Brian Tyree Henry, Salma Hayek, and Angelina Jolie. So that should be. Oh, and what's his name? Jon Snow from Kit Harington.
Kit Harington, yeah.
Played the Black Knight. So they've also said that Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Douglas will be returning to Ant-Man and the Wasp in Quantumania, as well as Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly. So, I mean, big things. One of the to round out Marvel, I think one of the other biggest news is they did confirm a Fantastic Four film.
Dude, that's not even. I've still got so much more.
For Marvel? Well,
yeah.
Tell
Moon Knight.
Oh, Moon Knight. That's right. Yeah.
They talked about Moon Knight. The Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
Oh, yeah. That's set for release in 22.
Which they're filming at the exact same time that they're doing Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and it's written by James Gunn. And I'm like, I actually kind of look forward to that. That could be really funny. They have I Am Groot, which is going to be another animated special.
Series of shorts, actually.
Shorts, yeah. Along with that, they have what was it? Why do I not have it on here? There was another shorts thing. Visions. That's what it was.
Oh yes, the Visions. No, Legends.
No, Visions. Visions, which is where they basically took and went over to Japan and let anime
Oh yeah,
creators
yeah, yeah.
create things based on Marvel property.
Right. Okay.
So there's that, and then there's Legends, which is the thing that I just saw announced today, which is basically they're going to take different aspects from the MCU
And spotlight it.
and spotlight it.
Yeah, it's
And
gonna be like
they're going to start on January 8th.
Yeah.
So this is actually going to come out before WandaVision, and they're going to spotlight Scarlet Witch and Vision.
In the Vision. It looks like, yeah, it's basically taking like the hot points from the various moments in the movies and whatnot, and go and maybe do a little history about the characters and kind of give you like a refresher on each of these things. They've also also I heard here too that Jamie Alexander will be returning to the Thor universe for Thor 4 Love and Thunder as the character of Sif.
Well, and which is great, but I also heard that Christian Bale is going to be in Thor Love and Thunder.
Yeah, he
as Gore the God Butcher.
Yeah, the God Butcher. Yeah, I mean that's perfect. Honestly, I mean, people were guessing, is he going to be Beta Ray Bill? All these other things. I still really want to see Beta Ray Bill in these movies, but
I do too. But especially now that they've introduced the Maul, Stormbreaker.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna see a lot of stuff in Thor 4. They're saying that Thor 4 is very much going to be very kind of like a Avengers 5. It's going to be. There's going to be romance. It's going to be really interesting, really awesome. The whole movie is going to be really great.
And Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania is also going to have Kang the Conqueror.
Yes, I mentioned. Also, Chris Pratt is scheduled to make an appearance in Thor 4. There was talk originally of Thor showing, or that Chris Pratt, Star-Lord showing up in Thor 4, and then Thor showing up in Guardians 3, at least doing cameos. So, but that who knows? We'll see if that happens. So, yeah. Sources with inside information describe Love and Thunder as having an Avengers 5 feel, hinting about the possible reunion of multiple players from the MCU. Avengers assemble for Thor 4. I love the fact that Sif is coming back. I've always liked her as a character. I've always thought that they could do a lot more with her. And was always surprised that they didn't. I thought she could very much be like the Wonder Woman of the Marvel Universe.
I agree. I was really upset to see that they kind of.
Well, she got hurt on Thor 3, on Thor 2. She hurt her back, so they had to kind of dumb down her role, and then I think she couldn't be in Thor 3. Because of
blind spot. Yeah, it's probably blind spot.
Because of blind spot. Yeah. Blind spot. So there's that. So we should probably it's getting late. We should at least get into the Star Wars.
Yeah, we may have to talk about more on the Star Wars next week, but
okay.
But we can run through everything. I mean, they made so many announcements for Lucasfilms.
Yeah.
We got 2 movies that they talked about.
Right.
Rogue Squadron, which is going to be what's her name? The director of Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Is it Patty Jenkins?
Patty Jenkins, correct.
Yes. She's running with that.
Did you see the promotional thing she did?
No, I've got it saved. I haven't watched it yet.
It's pretty awesome.
Dude, I haven't had time to do shit.
She talks about her dad being a fighter pilot, and about how he she always wanted to be like kind of do what he does and blah blah blah. And she's driving in her car, and she parks the car, and then she pulls on like a flight suit and zips it up, and then grabs a X-wing helmet and has it under her arm, and then is walking towards an X-wing.
Okay.
And it's pretty fucking badass. I mean, Patty Jenkins has done a great job with Wonder Woman. I think she will do a great job I think she could do a great job with Star Wars.
Well, and then the second one is the untitled Taika Waititi film for Star Wars. They
also talk about the Rogue One. Oh no, that's a show. Rogue One, a Star Wars story. That's right. But yeah, Taika Waititi is going to do one too. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to do another movie. Then there's the Obi-Wan Kenobi limited series.
Right.
Which the big news on that, which I gotta say I'm not overly happy about, is that they're bringing
Hayden
Christensen back to play Darth Vader. He can't do the fucking voice. There's no fucking way. They have to get James Earl Jones to do the voice.
We'll see. I don't know, man.
You can't do Darth Vader and not have James Earl Jones do it since he's still fucking alive.
I agree. We'll see. I have faith though that this. I mean, if they've done amazing things with Mandalorian, it's the same people.
No, it's not. It's not Filoni and it's not Favreau.
Are you sure?
I don't think so.
Because
it's a different group.
Filoni. I mean, I hope it is because the guy seems to know what he's doing. Now, we also announced Ahsoka Tano will be getting her own limited series called Ahsoka. And it will be starring Rosario Dawson again.
Yes.
In the same character.
And they're going to bring Thrawn in. And there's actually lots of speculation on who would be the perfect Thrawn, which the number one that they're saying right now is Benedict Cumberbatch, and that ain't going to happen. But
I don't know, man. If that guy has attached himself to the Marvel Universe, man, if he were to attach himself to Star Wars too, I mean, he's already also attached himself to Star Trek.
Just get into all of them.
Just get all of them. And Sherlock and...
Yeah. Well, and then another one that they're talking about is the Rangers of the New Republic, which they haven't said a lot about. And from what I've heard, it was supposed to be Gina Carano.
Right.
And now that Disney, I guess, has said that she needs to apologize if she wants her show.
Yeah. And she doubled down.
Yeah.
She was like...
So I have a feeling we're not going to see Gina Carano in that. I think we're going to see some other people, but...
Which is too bad, because I would have liked to have seen Cara Dune in her own show. You
know. Then we've also got the Lando limited series.
Right.
Which they haven't said who's going to star in that, whether it'll be Daniel Glover or Billy D. Williams. And I've seen people say, why not both?
Yeah, I'm guessing it'll be both. I would think maybe I think it'd be cool if it was Lando Calrissian reminiscing about his adventures as a younger man.
Yeah, and see like Billy D. doing the intro stuff, and then having Daniel Glover actually play a younger Lando.
Yeah,
I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah, it'd be great. Absolutely. We've also they've also talked about a mystery. I think the mystery thriller series called The Acolyte, and it also takes place in.
That's the High Republic. That's the one that's going to be in the High Republic that they're saying could be like Yoda-esque. You could see like Yoda, but no one else from the current the Skywalker saga, because it's going to be like 100 or 200 years before all this stuff. And then they're saying in that we should see the Sith as we haven't seen them yet in the movies or shows.
Okay.
We also have Andor.
Yes.
Which is the prequel to Rogue One.
Right. Yeah. It'll be the Andor. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, the Cassian Andor
thriller.
Show. Yep.
Right. Spy thriller Andor sees Diego Luna return as Cassian Andor from Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. So yeah.
And then we're gonna see animated shows of The Bad Batch.
Right. The spinoff from the Clone Wars.
Yep. A droid story, which is going to be a more kid-centric.
Oh, and yeah, Star Wars Visions. I think you were mixing it up.
Oh, yeah, Star Wars Visions.
Star Wars Visions and
that's
Marvel
what it was,
Legends. Yeah. So yeah, that's and a droid story featuring a new hero by legendary duo R2D2 and C3PO. Guided by legend. Okay, yeah. I think that's great, man. I think all this stuff. I mean, and as long as it's not everything on top of each other, because you're right. Trying to watch all the CW Arrow shows and the Arrowverse and everything, it got kind of tiring, got exhausting, because thankfully they were all on different nights,
Yeah.
So, but I'm, like I said.
But those of us that don't have cable anymore and cut the cord. That's still, it's to me, trying to catch up on them. I'm like, it's a daunting task now.
Yeah, and I have been doing that, and it is still daunting. I've still got several seasons of all of the shows. I'm on season 7 of Arrow right now.
I'm still on season 1 of Legends of Tomorrow because I kind of got burnt out on it. I'm like,
yeah, that show. You know what? That show is good. You just got to give it. Yeah, the first season is a little rough, but it really improves in the second and third seasons. And then of course we also have to mention, outside of Star Wars, but still in George Lucas land,
and this is one I had on here.
The Willow TV show.
Yep.
Starring Warwick Davis as Sorcerer Willow Ulfgood. To look forward to. I'm looking forward to that.
I am too. And we'll get into like things like The Mandalorian because holy fuck. We'll get into Mandalorian next week because it's a cliffhanger.
Yeah, it was a cliffhanger, and this coming, I think there's only like 2 episodes left.
I think this coming week's the last episode, actually.
You think it is?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's either the finale of the season or it's the penultimate, but it was really, really fucking good. And we can get into some of the other things that they've talked about, such as the new Indiana Jones movie, Hocus Pocus 2, the new Sister Act 3, the live action Little Mermaid and Peter Pan movies, Pinocchio.
I will say this. One of the things that I heard as well is that season 3 of The Mandalorian, we may see Mando take a back seat to actually having Boba Fett be the main character in season 3.
I heard that too. I heard that Din Djarin, they might be writing him out or putting in Boba Fett because there has been rumors.
There are 2 episodes left.
Okay. There have been rumors stating
wait, no. There's 1 episode left, the 18th. That's the last episode.
There have been rumors stating that Pedro Pascal has been unhappy with the fact that you don't see his face.
You got to take the helmet off this time,
yes, he did.
Which I'm waiting to see how that turns out because there's now somebody out there who has seen him without his helmet on.
Right. So I think we should table that because that's a big discussion. The conversations that happened between him and Bill Burr's character was a big deal.
Yeah.
The stuff that happened in that episode was a big
deal. And this week is the finale, so catch the fuck up. If you haven't watched it yet, catch the fuck up because we're going to talk about it next week, probably for half the show. Yeah. So because we're going to talk about these 2 episodes.
We can just do a double whammy of the last 2 episodes.
But yeah, so I think we should wrap things up now, though.
We should.
I mean, we could talk about Star Wars stuff we'll probably talk more about all the Star Wars, the Lucasfilm stuff more next week because we talked more about Marvel this week. But
yeah, we also spent a lot of time on politics tonight.
Yeah.
So more time than we normally do. But yeah, hey guys, thanks for joining us tonight. I hope you enjoyed last week with when we had our guest Sean on. He was a lot of fun. Always is a lot of fun. And hopefully he's listening and stuff. It was funny because I know he would listen periodically over the last couple of years, but I know he wasn't a regular listener because he made a lot of jokes about, because he was on our episode like 6, or episode 5 or something like that. And 200 episodes later,
well, that's I titled that one. This is actually episode 7 or something like that. It's
But guys, thanks for joining us tonight, and thanks. Be sure to download and stream us on all the places you can find quality podcasting. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on iTunes, the Google Play Store, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, radio.com. You can, of course, download and stream all of our shows at nerdswithalcoholshow.com. And every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, we are on Twitch, and then later on in the week on YouTube at Drinking Nerds. Both of those are Drinking Nerds. Also, don't forget to join us on Friday nights, on every other Friday night for Tavern Nights.
Yeah, although this Friday night will be our last one for the year.
It will be. We're going to take a little break because of the holiday, and then we'll probably be.
Well, yeah, because Christmas and New Year's both fall on Friday.
Yes.
So, we could do it on New Year's Eve or on New Year's Day. I think
there was talk of us possibly doing it on New Year's.
I don't want to have to force that. So we'll probably be back on the 8th. is what I'm guessing. But yeah, so you can also follow us on most of the social medias. We are on Facebook, Nerds with Alcohol Show. We are on Twitter at Drinking Nerds, Instagram Drinking Nerds, and you can follow us on, or you can join us on Untapped, Drinking Nerds. Just send us a friend request, and we will get you added.
Exactly. All right. Well, thanks again, everybody. Thanks, CD, for joining us. Thanks, Totes, whoever you were. Hopefully, you're following us and not just lurking.
No, I don't think so. I think whoever that was dropped off and it didn't actually give us a follow. So
he did say he'll be there on Friday.
So okay. Yeah. So we'll see. All right. Well, I think that's gonna about do it. So I think on that note. Until next time. Sláinte. That was pretty good.
It was all right.
Hey, I had 2 Guinness glasses, so.
Yeah, that's,
All right. Have a good week, everybody.
Good night.